What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and breaks on what's going on with the stock market right now, what the news, data, and technicals are telling us, and how this may affect NIO going forward. Now, before I break anything down about this, before I give you guys any price predictions for NIO, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, whether it's $1 or $100, it's up to you. You're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000. And the best part is, any could be a free NIO share, a free Tesla share, or a mix of all of them. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 6 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NIO was up 0.44% for the day, and it did actually bounce like I did think would happen yesterday, but I wasn't as confident about this in the morning after the news that just came out. Now, let me explain this. So on my YouTube channel, yesterday, I posted this video, NIO stock bounce tomorrow, and I did believe NIO would get a really nice bounce. However, I was not as confident about this. I was actually very, very apprehensive after the news that just came out. So I gave you guys a warning. I released this like a minute after the market opened. And the reason I gave you guys a warning was because there was a lot of very, very, how should I say this, very tense news that came out between Taiwan and China. It just came out. Even the US military was getting involved, and the whole thing is just a big mess. It's very, concerning to me, and I really do not want an escalation of the current situation. I really want peace in the world, and obviously events are happening which could actually ignite more tensions and like very serious stuff. I really don't want to talk too much about it, especially for the YouTube algorithm. I can't say too much about it without, causing any flags and stuff. But the bottom line is, it's horrible. It's scary. It's horrendous. And more war during a time like this is not going to help anyone. The people that get hurt the most are going to be everyday citizens, innocent people who do not want to hurt others, at least the large majority of them. And as the news is, going on, even like to this day, even at this moment, there are lots of military drills going on around Taiwan right now, and the situation is very tense. Now, as of right now, there has not been an invasion, right? And that's like the good news so far. There has not been a big invasion. It's looking like it might happen, but we just don't know for sure. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. If it happens, I was warning you guys about this. If it does happen, the entire stock market's going to take a big hit because the US is going to be involved after the things that President Biden said about how the US is going to militarily get involved. Nobody wants war right now, or at least next to nobody. It's just horrendous. Anyways, if that happened, the whole market's going to tank. NIO is going to crash, so is Tesla. They're going to crash hard if the invasion happens. So far, it has not happened. I'm going to remain optimistic, and I'm very hopeful that people do not get hurt. And because it hasn't happened so far, the market was able to continue to actually rebound and rally. Now, I believe that my prediction from yesterday would have been very, very correct and spot on. The market clearly wanted to rally. It wanted to keep going. It probably would have kept going. We wouldn't have like gapped down like this into open. We could have just kept going into open. The market was ready to just bounce and push up. Instead, we had a big gap down in the beginning, and then we got the push up. And it was a little bit slow. Not extremely strong, but it still did lead to lots of green closes. But the bottom line is, all right, what's going to happen for tomorrow? What's going to happen in the future now? Now, I must warn everyone, okay, during times like these, you have to be prepared for anything. Just in case, make sure you pay attention to the news and you are ready, because if something escalates, it's not going to be good for anyone. As of right now, it has not happened, and that's why I'm going to make my prediction based off the assumption that nothing really happens going into tomorrow and etc. And that's why it's very important to account for these things. But anyways, when it comes to NIO, I believe right now the technicals are still holding up nicely. We did close above 9 again. Looks a little bit more bullish, but you have to remember that tomorrow is going to be the last close, the last full day for Tuesday until we have CPI coming out on Wednesday before the market opens. So for a lot of retail who are not trading before the market opens, they cannot exit their positions, right? CPI is going to come out Wednesday morning. That's why tomorrow is going to be your last chance. I'm warning you right now, your last chance to secure profits if you want to, if you are a retail trader. That is assuming your brokerage does not like allow any like pre-market trading going into like Wednesday. But besides that, if you are trading during the open markets, tomorrow is going to be your last chance to secure profits. Make sure you're prepared for this because we have CPI on Wednesday before the market opens. Now, yes, the market could try to rally tomorrow, maybe hold up tomorrow. That's completely fine. But I'm not going to be too fixated on anything. I'm going to be ready to adjust because this could be a giant bull trap or it may not be, right? CPI could cause the market to continue to rally or it could just crash the market very hard. You have to be prepared for that. Now, until CPI comes out on Wednesday, we have Tuesday. As of right now, NIO has very low volume, only 26 million. It's still managing to move to the green side on very low volume. Short volume is still, it went up a bit, but it's not too crazy right now. So that's a pretty decent sign. If you look at NIO's price pairs ratio, it's still relatively low, trying to bounce off this very important level. NIO did actually perform with the market, similar to Barclays analyst, their analysis, about the equal weight rating for NIO. And on top of that, NIO tends to be green 55% of the time on Tuesdays. Tuesdays tend to be a better day for NIO. And finally, NIO's overall short interest has been declining just a little bit. We actually saw less NIO shares shorted going into last week on Thursday. So that's a pretty good sign too. As long as the short interest drops a little bit more, NIO could have more room to keep going. Now, when it comes to NIO's overall earnings, what is a little concerning would be the EPS, the profitability. NIO has been getting bigger losses consistently, but it's not the end of the world compared to what was reported like right here. It is still not the end of the world. I still think NIO will improve. Excuse me, sorry guys. NIO will improve their margins over the next couple of months, next couple of years. But for the time being, we are seeing demand slow down as the entire world is entering a recessionary environment. So please be very careful. NIO has earnings, I believe, in many weeks from now. I don't know the exact date yet, but it's not coming for the near term. It's going to take a while. And I just want to note that I do believe NIO is a great company, but if they're not getting closer to profitability, this could lead to some concerns for investors. When there's a recession, the whole market comes down regardless of fundamentals, regardless of how well and how good a company is doing. What tends to happen during a recession is company performances drop together. And that's the reason why we have to be open minded to potential downside on Wednesday and beyond. You have to be ready for that just in case. Now, until Wednesday comes, I just want to note that NIO is holding up nicely. For the hourly, we do have a doji to end the day, nothing too serious. I think tomorrow NIO might try to push up to try to get to about the 9.2s, but it might slow down depending on the situation. We might just see some sideways action, lots of hedging, some consolidation. I still think NIO might close very flat, if not a little green. That would be a lot more preferable. Now, when it comes to NIO's overall setup, I just want to note that we are technically still forming this possible right shoulder. It has not been invalidated just yet. If that has to be the case, NIO could try to get a rally back to 9.5. However, I'm not as confident about it anymore. And the reason for that is because I wanted to see NIO start pushing for today and then also for tomorrow to get that right shoulder. That's what I really wanted to see. Now it's like, okay, we have one more day. I don't know if we're going to get the right shoulder in one day. And then we have CPI. I don't know if CPI is going to pump the market and maybe cause us to form the right shoulder, or if CPI is going to crash the markets. I just don't know now. And that's why I'm just not as confident about this actually forming now. But I do believe, however, NIO might try to pump a little bit more tomorrow and get a somewhat green close. I think we're going to have a pretty sideways day, like I said before, lots of hedging and consolidation. Also, maybe some profit taking near the end of the day, but I still think NIO could close a little green around this 9.2 to 9.2, what is this, 9.26 level around there. That's another retest of 50 EMA, and I do think NIO is going to test it tomorrow. So my prediction is for the markets in NIO once again pushes up to 9.26. As long as there's no like very negative news, I believe that's most likely going to happen. Then NIO closes somewhere in the green. I just want everyone to be prepared for that. Now, once again, tomorrow would be a good opportunity to take profits on like calls or etc. if you haven't done so already, just in case you do not want to like take massive risks going into CPI. And if you are gonna like continue to play options, it's always important to remember how to hedge during times like this. Not financial advice, by the way. I'm not giving any financial advice, but you have to hedge to mitigate risks, because if you go all in on calls and the market ends up crashing because of CPI, you're going to get destroyed. But if you go all in on like, or like you go heavy on like puts and the market ends up rallying, you could get destroyed again. So you have to be very careful during events like this. But until then, guys, we'll just wait and see what happens with CPI. And I do think tomorrow is going to see, we're going to see some more green for NIO. Might try to fill this gap, but I do see NIO going to around the 9.2s, holding around there. They may be closing a little green. So I do think we're going to get a green close. And until then, we'll just remain calm, cool, and collected and be very, very patient. Now, once again, remember the news. Don't forget about the Taiwan-China situation. It is far from over. Just remain calm, cool, and collected and just get ready, all right? NIO to the moon, because the long-term future is still incredibly bright, and peace out.